What if love was the most dangerous game of all? Once Upon a Broken Heart takes us into a world of magic, heartbreak, and dangerous bargains. In today's video, we'll explore everything about this popular fantasy novel by Stephanie Garber. You'll hear the full story summary, key themes, insights about the author, and why readers everywhere are falling in love with this series. Let's dive in. Summary. The story follows Evangeline Fox, a young woman who believes in true love and fairy tales. But when the man she loves chooses to marry someone else, her world falls apart. In desperation, she makes a deal with the mysterious Prince of Hearts, also known as Jax. He agrees to stop the wedding in exchange for 3 kisses, each with its own hidden consequence. What begins as an act of heartbreak leads Evangeline into a world of twisted magic, ancient curses, and a growing danger she never expected. As she fulfills her end of the deal, she uncovers secrets that could change everything she thought she knew about love, about Jax, and about herself. Setting. The book is set in the magnificent North, a snowy, enchanted region filled with castles, curses, and creatures of myth. This world feels like a cross between a gothic fairy tale and a magical winter dream. If you've read Stephanie Garber's Caraval series, you'll recognize some of the world's charm and mystery. But Once Upon a Broken Heart introduces new lands, new rules, and deeper emotional stakes. Genre. This novel blends young adult fantasy, romance, and fairy tale elements. It has the dreamy atmosphere of Beauty and the Beast, the court intrigue of the cruel prince, and the emotional twists of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Readers who enjoy richly imagined fantasy worlds with slow-burning romance and unexpected turns will find a lot to love here. About the author. Stephanie Garber is best known for her debut trilogy, Caraval, which became an international bestseller. She started out as a college writing teacher in California and worked her way up to become one of the biggest names in YA fantasy. Jax, the Prince of Hearts, originally appeared in the Caraval series as a side character. He became so popular with readers that Garber decided to give him a story of his own. Once Upon a Broken Heart is the first book in that spin-off trilogy. Impact and reception. The book debuted as a New York Times bestseller and quickly became a favorite among fantasy readers. It's been praised for its poetic writing, immersive world, and unpredictable characters. It's especially popular on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, where fans often post their reactions, theories, and favorite quotes. Following the success of this book, Garber released 2 sequels, The Ballad of Never After and A Curse for True Love, both of which continued the story and deepened the fan base. Themes. Some of the key themes in the book include heartbreak and second chances, the price of desire, trust and betrayal, the power of belief and storytelling, fate versus free will. The story doesn't just follow a romantic arc. It also explores how people cope with loss, how far they're willing to go for love, and what happens when fairy tales don't end the way we expect. Literary analysis. Garber's writing style is rich in imagery. Her prose is emotional and poetic, often focusing on color, scent, and sensation to draw readers into the scene. Evangeline's character starts off hopeful and idealistic, but as the story progresses, we see her grow stronger and more aware of the danger around her. Jax, on the other hand, is the classic morally gray character. He's charming and powerful, but his intentions are unclear. He fits the mold of the Byronic hero, damaged, brooding, and dangerously attractive. This dynamic between innocence and danger keeps the tension high throughout the book. Fun fact, the entire series began with a single line. In the final book of the Caraval trilogy, Jax says, "Every story has a villain. You just have to decide what kind of villain you want to be." That line inspired Stephanie Garber to build an entire series around him. What critics said. Reviews from major publications were positive. Publishers Weekly called it enchanting and darkly romantic, while Booklist praised its twists and lush world building. Readers on Goodreads describe it as addictive, emotionally intense, and full of surprises. As of now, the book has over 250,000 ratings and a strong fan following. Why it stands out. What makes Once Upon a Broken Heart different is the way it plays with the idea of fairy tales. It asks, what happens after the happy ending doesn't come? Can you still believe in magic when your heart is broken? The story challenges common fantasy tropes while delivering everything readers love: romance, mystery, and just enough danger to keep you turning pages late into the night. If you've ever been heartbroken, if you've ever wished for magic, or if you've ever made a choice you couldn't take back, this book will speak to you. Once Upon a Broken Heart is more than just a fantasy novel. It's a story about heartbreak, hope, and the magic of second chances. With its rich world building, unforgettable characters, and unexpected twists, it's easy to see why readers are falling in love with this series. If you enjoy fantasy with emotional depth, morally gray characters, and fairy tale vibes, this book is definitely worth your time. Which book would you recommend to someone who loved Once Upon a Broken Heart? Let us know in the comments. We're always looking for the next great read. Thanks for watching.